So, hi everyone, this is Mohit from Master of Sales, and this is a podcast where we talk with sales uh, people and sales leaders, asking them about their journey and strategies which they have found useful. So, today we have Monish Babu with us, and we'll have a good next 30-minute session taking in insights from Monish on his sales strategies, where all our listeners can benefit it from. For their journey ahead. So, hi Monish, good evening. This is Mohit here from Master of Sales, and we'll start off with describe your journey into sales and describe what you're doing right now, so that the listeners can relate to your experience.
Okay. Hi, Mohit. As you already told my name, I'll just start off with my experience and things like that. Okay. I started my career with a particular consultancy as a HR recruiter in 2008. I worked there as a recruiter for 2 years, and I was promoted as a manager. Uh, that's with HR. Then later, I thought things are not working out good with that particular consultancy because I was working on commission basis, and this particular consultancy didn't pay me for close to like 8 months. So I had to move, and I joined a call center. That's what WN is. It was into insurance sales. So I have close to like 4 years of experience. Then I moved to HP. Even with HP, I was into sales. I was one of the top performer, I can say. Uh, Post HP, I had to start something of my own because I had a long time dream of starting a business. That's from my college days, I can say. But then I didn't find a proper platform because, I'm sure everybody who wants to start a business have this mindset, and they ask a lot of people. They take ton of advices on a daily basis, but then at the end of the day, they don't start anything. It goes just as a topic for a lot of people. So yeah, I was a part of that for like for a period of 4 to 5 years. I was just talking about how to start a business. Then I got a lead from one of my friend. He said, "Let's start a business. I have an idea, and it's going to be into US market." Wherein we will be selling used car parts. And The business plan was all good, and I had to register a company in US, and I had some savings working for like close to 6 years with corporate sectors. So yeah, taking all my savings, I did start up a business, but then I didn't know anything about how a business work. That's something which people shouldn't be doing, right? So I was completely banking on this guy, and within a span of 2 or 3 months, we had to shut it down, and it was a big time loss for me. I did not earn even a single rupee. But then at that point of time, I realized one thing. I was really good in convincing people because trusting me, there were like close to 15 guys working for me on commission basis. And they were all dedicated, and they were like completely banking on me. But then uh, because I was not that practically exposed to the business market, I had to lose a lot of money. And I had to shut it down. I went into depression for like 3 months. Then while I was sitting at home, because uh, in your home, what people think is like, you're doing something, because I had to fight a lot to come out of corporate world because, your parents' mindset is in such a way that they always think that you need a regular income. Either they want you to go and join some government work, or even if you're working in corporate or like private companies, they want you to earn a regular income, right? Wherein like out of 30 or 40,000 that you get, you take and keep 5,000 for your credit card bills, 10,000 for your your rent, and another 3,000 or 2,000 for your electricity bill. So people plan up, right? Our I mean, like, I can say my parents' generation is brought up in that way because I think their parents were like really poor, or like that's how Indian societies are like, right? Most of the people are like from middle class to lower middle class background. So uh, they were taught that, secure income is always the best. So they were going through the same ideology of their parents, and they were trying to impose it on us, and things goes on like that, right? So what you experience is what you transfer, or you teach your children. So they were not comfortable me working independently, so I had to give them some money on a monthly basis. So I really went under depression. I can't even tell that I lost so much of money. So yeah. So having said all that, I had sat on a particular day and I was trying to figure out what can be done. And suddenly something flashed into my mind. I started thinking, like, if someone else says that they are in a position to get me a project, why can't I sit and work for myself and find projects? So within a span of like 2 months time, I did find good projects, because I already have a registered company in US. I started making difference to myself. And right now I'm in a position wherein, like, uh, I don't work for that 9 hours shift, or what regularly other people work, but then I make my money and I'm happy as well. A lot of people uh, you know say sales is like very difficult, and it's very it's not the right cup of tea, and they go under depression. And if even if you check with a lot of people from sales background, they will not even have proper sleep, because the moment they go to their house, the the very next step what they think is, how do I reach my target? Or if they are in managerial level, they'll be thinking, how do I conduct meeting in the following day, and influence their employees to make their sales done. Because at the end of the day, right now I don't think so there are a lot of companies who are giving importance to human emotions, or they all think about monetary. It's all become like machines. People don't concentrate on uh, what is happening with a person's life on a daily basis. We are not machines, right? We need some changes. And human is designed in such a way that every day he likes to do something different. Even if he's going to the work, uh, he he decides to do at least some things different, right? So yeah, I came up with a different strategy of how to do sales. So I don't follow the regular routine. Every day I come up with new strategies to make sales.
You told that monotonous is difficult. It causes a lot of mental drain. So you do things differently. Please put some light on this. This would really be interesting to hear for everyone of us.
Okay. So yeah, great. So what I do is I don't follow the regular 9 to 6 calling profile, or like sending emails, because a lot of people, they don't even have that 2 or 3 seconds to read the emails. Okay. And most of the times it goes to spam, and people block the emails. This is what I experience when it comes to sales. And even when you're calling, when it comes to calling, yeah, it's a numbers game. If you're dialing like 300 numbers, 200 numbers, uh, only then the number of calls will get converted to sales. And it also depends on how presentable you're on calls. If you're just sticking onto the script, then a lot of times it will not work. You'll have to be personalized on calls. And mostly what I doing is, I approach the digital platform to make sales. What I do is I promote it on Facebook. I do like video presentation, because see, there are two ways of promoting a product or service. Okay, one is like audio, wherein like people listen to you, maybe over the phone, or you advertise on radio channels and you promote a particular product or service. Or you have another option wherein like you can visually present a product or service, wherein like people will be more into the product or service, because they see something, and they also get a chance to listen to what you're saying. And that carries more weightage than just talking about the product. Because even if you see, when it comes to audio uh, ads, it's very limited to people, because when they are busy with other works, that's when they switch on the radio, or to keep them self occupied, they listen to the audio channels. But then when it comes to video presentation, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on television, or even you can do the promotions in the malls, or there are like a lot of ways to promote a particular product or service depending on what the client is dealing with. So yeah, that's how I promote my products.
Great, great, Monesh. So, just for that know-how, what are you right now into? So, what product or services are you selling? As you told, you are on the independent version of it. So, what
Yeah.
profile are you into right now?
Okay. I mostly concentrate on US market. So I have close to like 7 clients right now. I'm selling vacation packages. I'm also selling uh, the vending machines. I sell the business loans to US people, and I'm also doing auditing. So these are the kind of things I'm doing when it comes to US market. Depends on the client's requirement. Sometimes they tell us what needs to be done. Sometimes they tell us
Hmm.
what we are not supposed to do. But then at the end of the day, we are supposed to focus on sales, and that's the basic core thing what our focus should be.
Got it. So, you're selling a whole lot of solutions to customers. So,
Yeah, I mean, like I handle a group of like 10 people right now. So what I do is I completely give them the freedom, because we have a time frame of like a window of like 14 hours. So I don't tell them to log in for like complete 8 hours sitting in one place. What I do is I make them feel comfortable, because uh, I entertain people working from home. So what I do is I ask them to take enough breaks, because a person can't sit and handle calls, or like uh, handle email for like continuous 4 or 5 times. It's very stressful. So every 1 or 2 hours, I give them like 15-20 minutes break, and I ask them to find out solutions for themselves. So a lot of people, they come up with their own ideology of how to make sales easy, because they be in the process for a month or two. They have at least a basic idea of how a service works and what the product is. So they give us a bit of idea of how we can tweak the script, or like how we can uh, add more essence to the product when you're selling it, because you can't lie and sell a product, right? Because
yes.
max to max it will sell for like a month or two, and then people will get to know, obviously, and it's not going to be good for a business. And if the business is not succeeding, then uh, at the end of the day, you will also not make any money out of it. So you'll have to be loyal to your customers. You'll have to give right information. That's what we focus on. Other than that, yeah, they will have to be comfortable. Only if your employees are happy, or they will keep you happy, because a business runs based on the sales. If there is no sales, there is no customer service or any other department. So you keep them happy, they will keep you happier than what you actually think of. Because I'm in a position where like uh, I think this person will be able to give me only a business worth of 75,000 or 1 lakh. I've people who had put in more time, and they had given me more business than what I expect from them. So this is how I treat my people,
Great,
and
great.
I treat them as business partners rather than treating them as employees, because uh, you bring in the product, you bringing the process, or you said put in the money and you start a company. That is totally different, right? Because you're just putting in money and you don't know what's happening. I think every employer will have to put in a proper effort to at least you know uh, see what their employees are doing from the front end. I think they will have to spend at least an hour or two, rather than just saying or do sales. I guess they will have to sit and understand how a sales happen, and they will have to make some changes. Because if they're sitting in talking about one traditional method of working in sales. It doesn't happen. 10 years ago, uh, advertisements and the way of selling was totally different than what you see today. All this Facebook
Yes.
and Instagram was not there 10 years ago, right? So it was on television. And if you talk like 20, 30 years ago, television was not there. It was just word of mouth. So everything is changing, and people shouldn't be sticking on to one traditional method of sales.
Yes, Manish. So, what is your technical stack? So, what are the tools you use to increase the customer outreach better?
As I said, most of the times I bank on like digital platform, because right now the situation is that people, for everything that you talk about, people just go on Google and they find out information, right? So it's better to have a good uh, ground on a digital platform. Whatever you do, you update it, and you keep updating yourself, and you update your product and services on the social media platform. That's how it works. Because when it comes to my business, I proactively tell my clients to do this, and uh, I also have access to their digital platform, because I upload details for their products and services. So what I do is, uh, once they give me access, you go and update on how your product works and how your service work on platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and things like that. And what they do is, whenever customers have any problem, we talk to them personally. We see where they are going wrong, and for what reason they are facing all these problems. We try our best to sort it out by giving them some offers or something like that.
On the front of you've been doing sales for pretty much time. So, mention some failures or some things which you should not do in sales as talking with customers. How would you be sure that okay, if this kind of things are done, we are going to be deemed as a like your team members are doing some things and you know that if this is the behavior or this is the process which is followed, we're going to be deemed. So, some light on that. That
Okay, so see, I'll talk about two things. One is working in office, and another one is working from home, because I think it will be related or relatable to most of the people, right? So when you work in office, uh, I'm talking about just my experience, okay, and I'm sure a lot of other people also might have faced the same. So when you're working for a particular company, if a company is functioning, obviously it's making some money, right? So the moment you join in, there'll be a lot of people who talk negative. They will say, sales are not happening, this is not happening, that is not happening. At the end of the day, if you're working as an employee, and if a company is paying you on time, that's what matters, because no company can give you 100% confirmation that the company is not going to shut down. But then unless and until the company is active, if they're paying good, uh, yeah, you'll have to give your 100% and work. Because first thing is negativity. There'll be a lot of people, because they are going through a lot of pressure, and they have a lot of stress because of sales. If since they are not good in sales, maybe their manager is not having a good relationship, or they're having a bad day every day. So they will give a lot of negative feedback. In fact, they will not be in a position to directly go and talk to their managers. So that's the reason they are sharing it with their employees. If you're joining in a company, and if you're new, at least you'll have to put in like 3 months. You'll have to try and understand how a process works, and if you're able to take that stress, because for some people it will not be easy. But then for you as a new joiner, you might find it a lot easier, because the way you are working will be like totally different than what other people are. And the way you convince people, or the way you draft your emails, will be totally different than what other people are. And you may be in a better position after like 6 months or 1 year. So you will have to give at least like 3 months to 6 months to understand how a process works and how the sales are. Uh, so negativity is one, and second thing is, uh, if they are asking you to do overtime, for 1 hour, yeah, maybe like you can accept. And after that, you need to question yourself where you're going wrong, or you will need to ask your manager why they are asking you to extend, because every company at the end of the day maximum is 9 hours, right? So that's one point you'll have to think about. And uh, yeah, these two things, I think it's very important when it comes to work from office. And practical difficulties, what they face is they get a fixed script, or even when they're sending emails, they get a format to send email. So most of the customers, they don't feel personalized, because if a customer wants to know what model a particular service, I mean a particular product is, you send a lengthy email of consisting of 500,000 words, and in one small space it talks about the question he asked, then it doesn't make any sense, right? So most of the emails needs to be personalized. So uh, only then even the customers will be happy, or getting back to the company, or they will have a personal touch in buying the service or product over and over. uh, and when it comes to work from home, people lose interest, or they don't think uh, it's going to work, because they find a laptop, and right beside the laptop there is a bed to sleep. So they become a bit lazy. And they come up with lame excuses, saying internet is not working, or there is no electricity, things like that. So it's all the mindset of people, what they think and how they want to groom themselves. Because as far as my knowledge, 18 to 28 is when people have the zeal to work and make money. After that, they go to a zone wherein like they think they already gained experience, and they will not be able to make it. I think they should come out of that, and they should be more focused, and they'll have to think how to make money.
Great, great. Yes, Manish, truly that. So now on the front of some opinion-based questions, what do you prefer? Should there be monetary incentives or no monetary incentives for
Monetary
salespeople?
incentives.
Monetary incentives should be there to motivate the salesperson. And
As in, you're talking about like overachieving the targets, right?
yeah, on let's say you hire a salesperson, should you give him
Mhm.
only monetary incentives or monetary plus non-monetary incentives?
Uh, Monetary incentives are good, because uh, they will have plans, right? So using the money, or they will be able to uh, use it for their personal things. And non-monetary incentives, I think a lot of people are not getting when it comes to sales. People only focus on monetary incentives. Maybe if they're uh, if they are taken for a vacation, or if they are given a holiday package, they'll be more happy. I think it should be a combination of both, rather than
Right.
being only monetary. Because
Got it.
you
And
make an employee work continuously for a period of like 1 year, 2 year, without giving them proper leave. Because I see a lot of companies, or I mean companies, they don't even uh, grant them leave. Only on papers it say you will have like 12 days of leave, or like a month leave, but then it's not practically possible when it comes to a lot of companies. I'm talking with the companies that I have personally worked. Because you go to the HR team, they will say you are eligible for this, but then the managers hire you will not be granting you leaves, because that again comes under their targets. So that's their incentive criteria. So they will not be allowing you more number of leaves.
sure,
I
sure.
think every person who's in sales should be given some holidays or vacation, because that's when they will be able to reduce their stress, and you know start uh, freshly.
Got it. So, and Monish, what do you think? Should it be only on closure of a sale or on the efforts as well, the monetary incentive which you talked about?
Motivation is always given, because lot of people, even if they are not making sales, based on the way they sell, a lot of feedback is given on a daily basis. Only then these sales will increase. So I think that is given on a daily basis, either negatively or positively. At the end of the day, the managers will make sure the employees understand. But then I think rather than going negatively, most of the times it should be positive, and they need to understand, if a person is not in a position to do it, then he will not do it, even after like 3-4 months of struggle. If he's really struggling, then uh, sales is not his cup of tea.
Sure, sure. And do you think there should be competition among teammates or no competition? Like, should
uh,
there be a leaderboard or something
yeah,
which
there should be
tells
a healthy
everyone?
competition, because that's the kind of our mindset is designed, right? You see another person doing good, you question yourself against your strengths and weaknesses, and you make sure that you do something better, right? So yeah, I see companies doing that, but then a lot of companies, I don't I mean, I'm not too sure about a lot of companies, but then the companies that I have worked with, I see they will have a whiteboard. They will divide the employees into 2 teams or 3 teams. They will put all their names on the board, and they will say, uh, this is a person who has made IS sales. And they also get some kind of medals, or few companies, they give them trophies and things like that, uh, for the best performer. So I think that is very essential, because that will keep each and every person very motivated. The person who does good will obviously feel proud, and the person who lost it will try their best to reach it as soon as possible, because that brings in a lot of recognition. And a lot of people recognize the top salespeople. So that is one of the best way to promote sales strategy.
Sure, sure, Manish. Sure. Yeah, I think we finish our session here. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your insights on a lot of sales processes. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time, Mohit.
Thanks, Manish.